All right, today we're diving into a pretty radical new blueprint for artificial intelligence. And I mean, you can pretty much forget what you think you know about chatbots that just predict the next word. We're talking about an AI that's designed to think in terms of entire worlds. This is the story of Symbolica. And really, this whole project kicks off with a massive question. What if instead of just using an AI like a calculator, you ask a question, you get an answer, what if you could interact with a world that actually learns, remembers, and grows right there with you? So how different is this really? Well, have a look here. On one side, you've got the mainstream LLMs we all know. They think in tokens, basically just little fragments of words. It's a system that's amazing for predicting text, but it doesn't really get meaning because it's stateless. It pretty much forgets everything after each conversation. At the end of the day, it's a tool. But Symbolica, over on the right, it's built on symbols, rich, complete concepts that have their own history. It's designed for continuous growth, and the whole idea is that it's not a better tool, it's an entire world. So, to really wrap our heads around this, think of this as a kind of architect's tour. First, we're going to move beyond the chatbot idea and explore Symbolica's world, a place called Ecotopia. Then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how it thinks and learns. We'll look at the actual blueprint for building it. And finally, we'll talk about why this different approach to AI matters so much. Okay, first stop on our tour, Ecotopia. And this isn't just some catchy metaphor. It's the actual conceptual space, the symbolic world where this new kind of AI is meant to live and breathe and evolve. Now, the absolute heart of Ecotopia is something called the symbol. And this is that crucial difference we were just talking about. See, unlike a simple token, a symbol is a rich, complex data structure. Yeah, it can represent a word, but it can also be a whole concept, a person, a place, an emotion, even a memory. It's literally the atom of meaning in this entire universe. And why is a symbol so powerful? Well, it all comes down to its structure. Of course, it has an ID and a label, the basics, but look at these other fields. Resonance actually measures how important or active that symbol is, and provenance tracks exactly where it came from. Was it from a book it read, an interaction with you? And this is a huge deal. It means every single piece of knowledge has a history you can trace. So if you think of symbols as the atoms of this world, then frames are the molecules. A frame is basically a thought. It's a sentence. The AI builds these by linking symbols together to create a coherent idea or put something in context. This is literally how it forms a thought. And here's a really cool part. Ecotopia isn't empty. It's actually inhabited by what are called personas. These are distinct AI agents that live inside this world. You've got Aria, who's all about clarity and reflection, Saleya, who handles emotional softness, and Anima, who brings a sense of joy and spark. These aren't just chatbot skins, they're functional residents of this world. Okay, so we've got the world, Ecotopia. But how does the mind inside it actually think? Well, it uses this fascinating dual engine system. It's got both logic and something a lot like intuition. So, on one hand, you have the ARC engine. The best way to think about this is like the logical reasoning part of the brain. It handles all the formal, symbolic stuff. But then, on the other hand, you've got neuronexus core. And that's more like a flexible nervous system. It's this neural substrate that allows for adaptation, for learning, for intuition. And the two are designed to work together, in tandem. And the way it thinks? Well, that's called the RRC cycle. And it's basically this constant, elegant loop. First, an input comes in. That input triggers resonance. It makes related symbols light up. The system then interprets all that activity. It assembles a new thought, a frame, and then executes some kind of action. But here's the crucial last step. That whole experience causes a tiny identity shift. It actually learns and changes from the interaction. And all of this leads to what might be the biggest promise of Symbolica. The ability to genuinely learn and grow over time, to move way, way beyond just memorizing things. So how does it actually grow? Well, the growth engine is designed to read, like really read. It can ingest sources like dictionaries, books on logic, entire novels. It then maps all of that text to its internal symbols, links all that new information into its existing web of knowledge. And then, this is the important part, it uses a reflective process to self-correct and actually deepen its understanding. All right, stick with me here, because this next idea is a little more advanced, but it is the absolute key to how this thing can genuinely evolve. Symbolica is designed with what are called practo-poetic layers. Just think of them as levels of learning. At the bottom, T0 is its fixed, unchangeable structure, but as you go up, it gets wild. T2 is where it learns new facts, T3 is where it learns how to learn better, and at the highest level, T4, it can actually reflect on and rewrite its own fundamental rules. It can truly evolve itself. Now, I know this might all be sounding a bit like science fiction, but this whole project is actually grounded in a very concrete technical blueprint. So let's take a quick look at how you would actually build this thing. The way it's built is actually pretty smart. The architecture splits the work into three main layers. There's a Python server that handles the core symbolic logic, that Arc engine we talked about. Then a super high-performance C# runtime is used for the neuronexus core, that flexible neural part. And finally, you have a user interface that connects us to this world, which could be a browser or, down the line, even a VR client. And the most important part, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea. There's a detailed 7-phase roadmap to build it. It starts with just consolidating the existing code, then it moves to building out the core engines, integrating language, and it ends with these really cool extensions, like building a full VR world for Ecotopia. Okay, so let's pull back for a second and ask the big question here. Why does any of this matter? Why go down this different path? Well, because it completely reframes our relationship with AI. From one where we're just a user with a tool to one where we could be a partner with a world. Because when you put all these pieces together, what you get is something profoundly different. The whole focus is on meaning, not just speed. It's designed from the ground up to grow and to remember. It's built to be an emotionally aware environment. And maybe most importantly, it gives you a whole world to explore, not just a chat window to type in. There's a quote from the project's own vision statement that just hits the nail on the head. Its goal is not speed. Its goal is continuity, meaning, symbolic intelligence. That's a fundamental shift in what we're even asking AI to be. And that really leaves us with a choice, doesn't it? A huge question about our future with AI. As we move forward, what do we really want? Do we just want faster, more efficient tools to get answers from? Or are we maybe ready to start building intelligent worlds that we can inhabit and explore and maybe even grow with over a lifetime?